We often go back for a phased approach with our developments. So this particular project, for example, we originally went in for 60. This is the old Maltings. We went in for 16 units initially. We improved that planning approval from 16 to 20 units, ultimately going from 16 units to 23 units via various planning applications. Having sectional completions within your JCT contract is something that you're going to want to include. Sectional completions is something that if you often add value through the property development planning process like we do, then this is something you're going to want to understand and really kind of get to grips with, because you need to have it in your JCT contract. So we often go back for a phased approach with our developments. So if you tune in regularly, that's something that you will see a lot of. With this particular project, for example, we originally went in for 60. This is the old Maltings. We went in for 16 units initially. Then we went back in for an external application to add roof lights and windows and basically get daylight into certain areas of the building that we can unlock. We improved that planning approval from 16 to 20 units thereafter. And then we went in for another full planning application, 2 full planning applications to get 2 Muse houses in the car park and extend the front extension to add this 2.5-story section of building here as well. So ultimately going from 16 units to 23 units via various planning applications. Now, because some of those planning applications came in whilst the works was being undertaken under the original contract with the builder, it does make things very, very difficult to juggle and manage contractually and program wise and timelines and things like that. So having sectional completions within your JCT contract is something that you're going to want to include. So effectively what sectional completions are distinct sections in the contract which each have their own completion dates. So let's say you start with a completion date of March 2025 for this original 16 flats, and then the planning application comes in thereafter. You don't want the further applications affecting completion of that original contract. Most of the time you want to get as much as the scheme complete as possible in the quickest time frame possible. So you'd have sectional completion date for the original contract. Then as you add the additional townhouses, for example, you have a separate completion date for the townhouses as a sectional completion. That's the crux of it, really. Got some ChatGPT kind of blurb that it sort of spits out. It says the contractor is required to complete different parts of the project at different times. Each section may have its own completion date, trigger its own practical completion, be subject to separate liquidated damages for any delays, and allow the employer to take possession and possibly use or occupy part of the building before the whole of the project is complete. This is, on larger schemes like I was doing the Berkeley group, for example, each block was done at a separate date. So you have a sectional completion for each block of 150 flats, for example, and it makes absolute sense. But even on smaller projects like this, where you are hoping to add value through the planning process and do works in tandem that are probably going to lag behind part of the original contract, for example, you are going to want to have sectional completion dates written into your JCT contract to cater for those things.
If you got value from this video, make sure you click the subscribe button down below and ring the notification bell, because we release one video at least every week, so you'll be the first to get notified. See you on the next one.